every step taking him further away from everyone and everything he knew, and closer to destiny. To be continued in Beacon Pines, Pines Harder. Revenge served cold. Second time's a charm? Wait, that's it? This ends with a crummy cliffhanger just when it was getting good? I was even starting to like Iggy.
I just realized my mic was muted. I'm pretty cool. Nice. Well, my mic wasn't muted the entire other thing that I was doing. That would suck, but if that's true.
No way. I refuse to be associated with some never-ending parade of sequels. Let's go back and find something more definitive.
Okay, so we're back up here to Sly. Alright, back to some interrogation.
They'd run the classic good cop, sly cop interrogation.
Ooh.
Luca and Rollo ducked behind a barrel, leaving Beck to her task. With a few crisp snaps, she roused Mr. Tolliver.
What's going on here? You're that Modewell girl. Please, call me back. Sorry about this.
Mr. Tolliver looked down and shifted a bit, testing his restraints.
Seems there's been a mix-up. You see, I'm down here for the same reason you are. Juniper sent you here?
Beck caught herself before letting the surprise manifest on her face. She'd already gotten him to reveal his relation to Gran. This was gonna be easy.
Super easy. You know how Juniper is with her precautions. Operation Sparkplug has us all on edge. Guess she thought you needed some backup. But she sent a child? What better way to avoid prying eyes? Who would suspect a kid? Suppose that makes sense.
Mr. Tolliver wriggled a bit in his restraints.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Beck quickly removed the ropes.
That had to be uncomfortable. A little, yeah. But you understand. You never know who to trust in this town.
Mr. Tolliver rubbed the growing knot on his forehead.
Very true. So it turns out we're both here to...
Beck twirled her hand, as if to prompt Mr. Tolliver to finish her thought.
destroy the evidence.
Beck shook her head and clicked her tongue.
Yep, the old gal's nothing if not thorough.
Mr. Tolliver let out an amused huff in agreement.
She sure is. Can't blame her, though. If I wanted to find out we were going to destroy the source, well, we both know how bad that might be. No one will know anything once I finish cleaning things up down here.
Beck was on a roll now, playing Mr. Tolliver like a fiddle.
Sure you can finish this up on your own? Juniper trusted me for a reason. You can leave the rest to me. Good. There's one more loose end I'll go work on. Loose end? Oh, it's nothing really. The other day I had the radio on scan while we're stuck in the candy shelf. Wouldn't you know it, I inserted an odd phrase in a perennial harvest transmission. Underground secrets. That's ominous. I think it might be a password, but Juniper dismissed it. Said it wasn't mission critical. What's the password for? We don't know. So we have a password and know where to put it? It's gotta mean something, right? Good thinking. You should probably go work that out. Got this under control. That's a relief. Between you and me, this basement gives me the willies.
Heading for the stairs, Mr. Tolliver hesitated and turned to Beck with a puzzled look. She grinned and gave him a peppy wave. With a shrug, he continued up the stairs, whistling a jaunty tune.
You guys catch that? Sure did. This whole time Mr. Tolliver had a candy shelf, but all he ever sells is his apples.
Beck blinked slowly in disappointment.
A password, Rolo. Well, sure, but once things are back to normal, I'll be having a word with Mr. Tolliver about that candy shelf. Fine. In the meantime, I've got an idea.
She turned to the table and began tearing small scraps of paper.
He said he heard a password on the radio. Any good spy transmission is never what it seems.
Beck marked each scrap of paper and leaned back.
Just need to find the hidden meaning. Okay. It's another word for underground. Buried, covered. Could it be a cover-up? Maybe it's one of those each letter is a number thingies. So U would be 21. N would be 14. D would be... Ooh. It's an anagram. Noon Crean's drugstore.
Luca and Beck looked at Rolo with amazement.
Rolo, that was incredible. Sounds either that or Kren's nude rug store. Yeah, I think you were right the first time. How'd you do that? What can I say? I love ciphers. Well, I guess we know where to go next. Alright. We're on it. Alright, we have incendiary and hum we haven't used yet. Let's go see. Scared me half to death. Sorry. Kids haven't seen Mr. Tolliver around, have you? Nope. It's got me waiting around like a last slice of pie. I swear that man would be late to his own funeral. Alright. Of course, it's important to know this is the wrong Beacon Pines, we've learned. It's the fake Beacon Pines. Let's see, same my other things. No new bait. There's gotta be at least one more thing to catch in that pond. I'll figure it out. You're late, Augustus. Sorry, sister. It's caught up with work. Work? You? I have a few more details to lock down for the festival. Oh? What do you have to report? What's this insipid town festival really about? I think
looked around nervously.
Mr. Kerr really does just want to do something good for the town. He's actually a pretty nice guy. You should spend some time with him. He didn't pull strings installing you as mayor so that you could make friends. Your job is to help me figure out what Kerr and Perennial Harvest's true intentions are with this town. They have a responsibility. It's our father's town. Was. Excuse me? This was our father's town. He's gone, Eris, and he isn't coming back. Father left us with nothing but problems. Mr. Kerr came here and offered to help us. We accepted that help. Didn't agree to them turning Father's warehouse into a toxic dumping ground. It's just a temporary arrangement. The glow can be seen from our damn backyard. They're dumping their nasty little secrets on us. When all this inevitably goes wrong, who do you think will be blamed?
Eris's cry hung in the air.
We have a new choice to make now, sister. This town's gonna change, whether we like it or not. Are we gonna choose to be a part of that future? Or be forgotten in the past? It's a shame. Father named you Augustus, but you will always just be a Gus. Good night, Eris. See you at breakfast tomorrow. It's getting late, children. How's the book going? Knowledge, he spat with a sneer. There's just a gulf between knowing something and being able to do a damn thing about it. Oh, that's true. Do hate it when the villain makes a good point. Yeah, it's very frustrating, I agree.
Solomon stood proudly at the entrance to the drugstore. holding a brown bag overflowing with black licorice.
Hey, Solomon. We're looking for Mr. Nooncreed. Is he still in there? Afraid not. Then where'd you get the candy from? I'd say we have an arrangement.
Solomon shoveled a surprising amount of licorice into his mouth.
Sometimes it's the small pleasures in life. We might always not have family to rely on. Licorice just never let me down. Black licorice, though. I don't know. Well, I can't say licorice would be my first choice. Yeah, I'm with you, Luca. But whatever floats your boat. You tell a lot about a person by the choice of confection. Oh, yeah, I guess. I like sour gobs. I'm certain you do. I always wonder why Mr. Nooncreed kept licorice in stock. You must eat enough of it to make it worthwhile. There are many ways to earn loyalty. For some, it's as easy as cold hard cash. Well, he's right, it's locked. It's gotta be more clues. Okay, let's see. Have you ever seen anyone actually use this thing? That's Mr. Nooncreed, no.
Beck cupped her hands on the glass to peek inside.
It's not a normal phone booth. It's got like a blinky keypad. Why would there be a blinky keypad? Kren's Nude Rug Store! I mean, Underground Secrets! The password!
Beck flung open the door and they all squeezed in.
Alright, let's see here.
Luca cracked his knuckles and entered the letters into the keypad.
Underground Secrets. Sounds like they did something. Great, now what? I guess we are?
The inside of the phone booth dropped loose from its shelf. Without even the space to panic, they closed their eyes, held their breath, and accepted their fate. Suddenly, the chaotic descent slowed to an effortless landing. It was unclear where they ended up, but at least it was solid ground. The air was stagnant and smelled vaguely of chlorine.
I knew it. You knew there was a secret hub full of strange tubes under the phone booth? Of course I did. Didn't I say that? No. I definitely thought it. Luca, do you remember when I said how cool it would be if the trans-dimensional conduits from Hank Atomic issue number 12 were real? Rolo, at one point or another, you said that about every technology ever discussed in Hank Atomic. That's why I'm such a good predictor. It's like each of these has something written on them. This suit has a broken mask. So we have found our mystery warehouse keeper? Creeper? We've at least found their hazmat suit. Walks like a Nooncreed, talks like a Nooncreed. Let's not jump to conclusions. Just saying. Valentine Fertilizer Warehouse. Isn't that where you almost got snatched? Yeah. Why would Perennial Harvest have a tube going to the old Valentine place? It's starting to feel like something big. Perennial Harvest main office. That's where my mom works. What does she do? Science stuff. Is she involved in all this? We just moved here. How could she be involved? True. Mining Operations Alpha. Does have mines here? Not that I know of. Sounds all farms and fertilizer. And a series of tubes. Pa always says you can only trust a miner up to the point when they hit gold. Not sure how that wisdom applies in this exact situation. That's the thing about Pa, you don't always realize what he means until it's too late. That's a lot of buttons. Stand aside, Earthlings. I've heard enough Hank Atomic to know my way around sci-fi tech.
Rolo's hands hovered over the field of blinking buttons.
Eeny, meeny, miny. Although, what did you do? Nothing! I didn't even mow yet. What was that? Hide! Where? There's nothing but weird tubes down here. Just get back. Shit. 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 Awesome! You all need to come with me now. We're not going anywhere with you. Not until we get some answers. Mr. Underground Secrets. Told them it was an absurd password. They love anything that makes them feel clever. They who? That's no matter. If I can keep you hidden until after the festival, I might be able to save your skins. We don't care about our skins. Hold on now, I'd like my skin. This all stops now, Noon Creed.
Joseph waited for a moment in silence.
You sound just like him. Who? Walt. We get to talk about my dad. You know, your father and I were friends back before.
He gestured toward the strange tubes.
All of this. That's a lie. It's true. I used to bounce you on my knee. What happened? Same thing that always happens. Reality, complications, life. We were a team, Walt and I. An idealistic doctor and a bright-eyed pharmacist. Both hell-bent on helping folks. So you were a sidekick? No. We were partners. He helped the patients and I helped him. Yep, total sidekick.
Nuncreed let out a growl of a sigh.
Luca, I need you to know this. I need someone to know this. One day, Sharper Valentine comes to us. Says he's got an opportunity. He'd found something he didn't quite understand. And he was willing to pay us both handsomely to help him understand it. And my dad said no. Father and I both believed in helping people. But the thing I could never get him to understand was, it's a lot easier to help others if you help yourself now and then. Classic sidekick and villain plotline. Well, loved being righteous, almost more than he loved his family. He was wrong about one thing, though. He begged me not to take Valentine's offer. He said, Joseph, if a person says yes one time to Sharper Valentine, he'll make sure they keep on saying yes to him until the day he's dead and gone.
He shook his head wistfully.
Sharper's long gone, but he still got me saying yes. Is there a point to this sob story? Not really, no. Just an old man trying to delay what needs doing.
Nuncreed took a menacing step towards the children.
Tried to keep you safe. Tried to keep you and Juniper out of this. She forced my hand.
Luca began to laugh.
What? You really don't know? My gran isn't out of this. She's been scheming right under your nose. Juniper? Seems like she's planning on crashing the town's party. She's gonna disrupt the festival? Why would she?
The color drained from Nuncreed's face.
How does she know? Well, she does a lot of things. What? Let's just say this isn't the only underground lair we busted into today. And honestly, hers is way cooler. She's got maps and explosives and bad intentions, big man.
Nuncreed grabbed Luca by the shoulders. His eyes were frantic.
You need to tell me what she's going to do right now. She doesn't understand what it is she's messing with. Tell me now. She's in danger, boy. I don't know. She had a map with a mark on the fountain in the town square. The fountain? But why would...
A jolt of realization struck Mr. Nuncreed.
She knows about the source? What the heck is the source? She tries to destroy the source it could catalyze, and... Dear God, she's gonna freeze us all. You all need to run. Run where? Away. Far, far away from this town as you can get. Head west and don't look back. That did not go how I expected. So... totally followed him, right? Totally. See you on that side? You good? Yep. I love this town.
Chapter 8. The Cold, Hard truth. Beck leapt up, allowing the suction to yank her into the dark. Dimness eclipsed around her like the shutter of a camera as she seemed to cover great distance in mere moments. Her only points of reference were glints of upcoming turns, which approached with frightening speed, only to carom her gracefully along. She heard the tinny, distant echoes of Rollo's glee. Once she stopped fighting against it, the ride was impossibly smooth. Then, all of a sudden, as if minutes had passed in an instant, light blazed into view. A burst of wintry air snuffed across her face, and she was flung out into the cold.
That was intense? Yeah. I think I might have parted with some fluids in there. Any idea where we are? Somewhere cold. Doesn't look like it got on any of us. I feel like we traveled that far. So where did it all go? This place sucks. How do I even want to blow something up out here? Well, the one way to find out, I suppose. Gotta catch up to Nooncreed. I think he went this way. This looks familiar, yeah. Maybe we can clear off the snow. No time, Nooncreed's getting away. Yeah, we did that another timeline, don't worry about it. Okay, this is starting to feel really familiar. May not be the most well-versed in all things Beacon Pines, but this does look like some sort of frozen replica of town. Isn't that right, Cat? Yeah. Ah, I got it. So obvious now. Mr. Nooncreed is an alien. Rollo. Stick with me here. His species can only live in sub-zero temperatures? Oh boy, here we go. The source is their base camp dimension, so naturally they keep it cold. We found it by traveling through those metallic wormholes back there. Final objective, kill us all and shapeshift into a Beacon Pine citizen of their choosing. You never really had me, but you very much lost me there. You get used to it. We should keep moving.
As they rounded the corner to the frozen town square, they spotted Mr. Nooncreed inching cautiously toward a pit at its center. He held his arms out gingerly, as if approaching a beast in the wild. Upon closing the distance, Luca recognized what Nooncreed was after. Gran stood confidently at the edge, one arm outstretched over the abyss. Nearby, a wheelbarrow had been emptied out. She held a lit torch, which flickered in the bitter wind.
Juniper, I don't know what you think you're doing, but I assure you this is not going to solve anything. If you drop that, you doom this whole town. Well, it wasn't me who doomed this town. I'm watching you, Joseph. I know what you've done. You and your co-conspirators. Gran? What's happening? Luca, you and your friends need to leave right this moment.
Mr. Nooncreed turned back toward the kids, desperation in his eyes.
Listen to your grandma, Luca. This is between me and Juniper.
Rollo and Beck held steadfast in awe. Luca approached closer. Mr. Nooncreed spun back toward Gran, his voice growing louder.
You've got it all wrong, Juniper. Just hand over that torch. You don't understand what you're doing. How could I possibly trust you to do the right thing? Walt told me everything. He trusted you, and you betrayed that trust. Luca, did you know that this man's entire life is a lie? If it weren't for him, your father might still be alive.
Mr. Nooncreed winced with anguish. His voice hardened.
That's not true.
They both now yelled, not to each other, but at fate itself, making their peace with long-held burdens. The wind howled with encouragement.
Walt was like a brother to me. We just had different ideas about how to effect change. Very convenient that your way just happened to line your pockets. Now that's not fair.
They menaced at each other, both catching their breath. The moment balanced on a knife's edge. Amid a blur of emotions and memories, Luca's mind flooded with questions. The wind calmed, as if to give him the stage.
Huh. Probably cry. It's pretty dramatic.
And in the stillness, he began to weep. It was all just too much. Falling to his knees, Luca whimpered softly. The tears crystallized as they hit the snow. Gran stared at Luca for a moment with warm sympathy, remembering why this was all necessary.
This will all make sense soon, Luca. Then everything can go back to normal. I promise.
She stiffened up and brandished the torch at Mr. Nuncreed.
Can't hide behind those people any longer, Joseph. Once our precious source is destroyed, we'll see where their loyalties fall. Juniper, don't.
Ignoring his final plea, Gran flung the torch into the deep darkness. She smiled and exhaled in relief. Mr. Nuncreed moaned in resignation. The torch echoed as it ricocheted down the hole, punctuated with a thunderous thud.
See, Joseph, I've learned one very important lesson in life. If you want things to change, then you must be willing to.
Before Gran could finish, the ground shook her to silence. Gran only had time to spin around and run to Luca. Her attempt to shield him, an honorable but trifling act. Unflinching love, pitted against an unthinking horror. There was no contest. Her warm embrace froze in an instant. That is where they remain, fixed in place, forever. And so, our story ends on this melancholy scene. In a town brought low by its secrets, sits the frozen statues of a misguided band of meddlers. The end. Well, that was dire. On the bright side, we finally figured out where all the ice is coming from. Now, we just need to find a way to deal with a mystic, unfathomable force of nature.
Easy. Easy and peasy. Alright, well, let's hum, I guess. Fire and ice.
And in the stillness, he began to hum. After the death of his father, Luca had trouble sleeping. Each night, his mother would sit at the foot of his bed and hum a gentle melody. It was the only thing that could calm his mind. The only thing that, however briefly, could make it all seem okay. That melody pervaded every memory Luca had of his mother. Shivering in the raw snow, he began to hum it out loud. Gran lowered the torch, listening closely. As recognition slowly set in, her heart sank. Those countless nights of consolation, the incomparable loss they shared together. She let the torch fall to the snow and sizzle out. A few steps toward Luca was all she could bear before dropping to the snow herself. Through a flood of tears, she began to hum along, note for note.
Finally gonna get the dramatic reveal.
his head in astonishment. The last time he heard that melody was the last night he saw his mother.
How do you know? I'm so sorry, my little buckaroo. Buckaroo? People call me that, or my dad and your mother.
Luca blinked through blurry, watery eyes, trying to see more clearly. He could just make out the impression of a familiar face. He peered across the snowscape at the woman on her knees. Something about her was undeniably his mother. Only smaller, older, changed.
Mom? That's right, buckaroo. Mom!
Luca sprinted as fast as he could toward his mother. They held each other close, and the cold retreated from their bodies.
Eleanor? Thought you were gone? Should have known I would never abandon my son.
Eleanor looked down at Luca, tightening her embrace in an appeal for forgiveness.
How? You're a smart man, Joseph. I thought you'd piece it together by now. You were exposed. Mom, I don't understand any of this. What happened to you? Where'd you go? Why did you leave me? I never left you. I was always right here, Luca. Why did you lie to me? It tore me up, Luca, but I did it to keep you safe. I thought that getting answers would help us both move on. But the more I discovered, the more I realized the danger we were in. Until perennial harvest was stopped, it was better if everyone thought I was gone. You could have trusted me. These are bad people, Luca. They won't stop until they get what they want. And they don't care who gets hurt in the process. Then what do? We have to stop them.
Joseph slumped into the cold, wet snow.
They can't be stopped. It's too big. I tried beating them at their own game. I'm done fighting fire with fire.
For the first time in a long time, her voice felt like her own again.
No more lies. I see now there's a better way to stop perennial harvest. Cold hard truth.
Luca gazed down at Nuncreed with pity. He looked small. Joseph stared into the snow as if searching it for answers.
Come on, everyone. We've got a party to crash. You don't understand. He always wins.
Chapter 9. The Devil You Know. 7 months ago, Eleanor Van Horn crept down the maze of sterile hallways under perennial harvest.
Oh.
She stopped in front of the large steel door marked Deep Engineering. No turning back now. She raised a trembling hand. The stolen keycard worked as promised, and the door buzzed open with mechanical efficiency. She was immediately hit with the smell of disinfectant. It was some sort of laboratory. In one corner was a desk covered in papers. Across the room stood a tall metal pod with hoses protruding from its base. She rushed to the desk and began shifting through the piles of papers. They were experiment reports on something called Tempus liquamen. There were dozens of them, every one stamped failed. Eleanor heard the sharp echo of footsteps approaching. She was out of time. Her eyes scanned the room, eventually landing on the strange pod. Muttering a curse under her breath, she dashed over and dove inside.
And that is what change is all about. Grabbing the future by the scruff of the neck and making things happen. Change is a choice. I am Tickle Pig that we'll all be making that choice together. How great is that? This man is a liar. Excuse me? I will not. This town has a dangerous secret and perennial harvest only exists to keep it hidden. Nonsense. They picked up the whole damn town and moved it right under our noses. You aren't making any sense, dear.
Mr. Kerr addressed the crowd with a sarcastic tone.
Imagine such a thing. It's absurd and just plain impossible. They promised they could fix the foul harvest. They told us they would clean this place up. We just had to leave town for a few days. But while they got us evacuated... Miss Harford, I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you to... You're afraid of a lot of things, aren't you? You sniveling little worm. This is growing tiresome. Little help, please. Don't you all see this festival is a sham? An excuse to have the whole town gather in one place. They're planning something awful. I don't know what, but these people are wicked. Don't listen to her. She has absolutely no proof. I am the proof. I'm Eleanor Van Horn.
Whispers filtered through the crowd.
Aren't you just as sneaky as the Dickens? We all knew Valentine's fertilizer was too good to be true. And now this whole town is paying the price. Ladies and gentlemen, I am so sorry about this disruption. My associates will take this obviously disturbed woman somewhere comfortable, so that she can get the help she needs. She's not the one who's disturbed. You too, Tommy Clown. You all know there's something wrong with this town. It's just easier to look the other way. The truth is... That's quite enough, Mr. Nooncreed.
Torment dragged on Joseph Nuncreed's face.
Yes, sir. Take them away. No, I want them to see this. Ah, the ever-tempestuous Eleanor Van Horn. You've been quite the thorn in my side. Like a weed that's burrowed in where it doesn't belong. I must confess you look dreadful.
He paused for a moment, plucking a piece of fuzz from his sweater and discarding it to the ground.
Consider yourself in rare company. You've managed to pull one over on me. Won't happen again. I knew you had some sort of plan to disrupt our little party. But alas, I expected something a bit more impressive than incoherent rambling. No matter. Your failures are yours to bear. Mr. Care. Yes, sir. It's a shame it was cut short, but I thank you for that rousing oratory. I will take it from here. Yes, sir. Of course, sir. You've done quality work for me, William. I look forward to the recompense we agreed upon.
Kerr gave a bow of deference.
Founder, you are most gracious.
Gasps rippled through the crowd.
Thankfully, we can dispense with the formalities from here on out.
Solomon pulled a glass vial from his pocket. In one smooth motion, he downed its contents. A triumphant smile grew across Solomon's lips.
You can all call me Sharper Valentine.
His body and face began to contort and expand as he disappeared into a belching green mist. A hushed horror gripped the crowd. This is a story about change.
What? No. Ah, so you didn't see that coming. Good.
Sharper examined his new hands.
Well, this is quite the improvement. Everything looks so much smaller now. Eleanor was right about one thing. This festival was a ruse. I wanted you all to witness my glorious return with your own eyes. Why does everyone look so downtrodden? This is a celebration, people. It would help if we set the mood. Mr. Care, be a dear and reveal the sign. Wonderful.
Sharper choked out a crude squawk of a laugh. Frustrated grumbles sprinkled through the crowd.
Sharper, you malicious bastard. Ooh, malice. Glad you're back so I can tell you to your face. You destroyed this town. We ain't gonna let you get away with it again. Sorry, this is not the time for audience participation. Some assistance, Mr. Care?
William Kerr gave a subtle nod to the clipboards.
You coward. Does anyone else have something to contribute?
A helpless quiet settled over the crowd.
I thought so. Do you all truly believe you could be free of me? A town of complete and utter fools. People should be celebrating my return. You clearly lost without me. And all that leads me nicely to my children. Daddy? I gave you both the greatest gift a parent can give. The opportunity to prove yourselves in my absence. Squandered. To say I'm disappointed would be an understatement. But Silence, Augustus, an adult is speaking. I don't know which is worse, a son who's completely hopeless, or a daughter with such potential who inevitably lets me down. Harris, you fail me with admirable consistency. Thankfully, I was counting on it this time. Father, I have been wasting time, my dear. What have you accomplished? I was focused on cementing our legacy. Legacy? It's a legacy when you can just live forever. But what about... It's alright, kiddo. I'm afraid you suffer from a complete lack of imagination. There's just no helping it. Now then, where's Joseph? You didn't take the opportunity to slip off, did you? Ah, there he is. Everyone should give him a hand. None of this would have been possible without Joseph. I think you've said enough. Nonsense, the people deserve to know how helpful and loyal you've been. I only did what I did because he left me no choice. You always had a choice, Joseph. You were simply too weak to take it. No matter, cheer up. You're about to be rich behind your wildest dreams. You should follow Mr. Kerr's example. When I found him, he was in a sorrier state than any of you. An aging actor desperate to recapture his youth. Played his part, and soon he'll be able to play the leading man again. Forever, in fact, if he remains loyal. Goes for all of you. And all those who haven't already frittered away my goodwill. Beacon Pines is mine again, and I'm willing to share its spoils in exchange for absolute loyalty. Are you saying William Kerr was never in charge of perennial harvest? Ha! Think that puffed up blatherskite could have accomplished all this? Dawn, I suppose it's time for your big exclusive.
Sharper addressed the crowd with indignant pride. He'd planned this moment for so long that now, at the deed's fruition, it almost felt frivolous.
You see, I needed a figurehead to hold things down while I orchestrated my return. Someone to misdirect a lie and bilk this town for a spell. So I invented William Kerr. Take your bow, you've earned it.
Mr. Kerr flourished a preposterously elaborate bow.
Patrick C. Montesquieu, thespian extraordinaire, at your service. Founder, I just want to thank you again for this opportunity. Oh, right. That was a book in the library. I remember that. It truly was the role of a lifetime. Wait. So Bill Kerr was a Pat C the whole time? Oh. Bill Kerr was a Pat C. Ow. Ow. Ouch. Now there's tickets out in the open wants to stop this town from rising up against you. Well, that's the delicious part. Fear. Thanks to our clipboards, I know what each and every person in this town fears most. And I will make those fears manifest for anyone who steps out of line. Choice is simple. I'm not afraid of you. Ah, the young hero. Kept a keen eye on you, boy. You and your friends made a habit of disrupting my plans. What a pity. If things would have gone a bit differently, you might have just had your moment of triumph. But if that's fate for you, can't do this. Oh, but I can. I have one. Never underestimate what a great man can do given time. Now time is my plaything. Perhaps the most expensive thing I've ever bought, but well worth it. Ha!
Sharper coughed up one final laugh and cracked his knuckles.
Enough chit-chat. Let's get to work, shall we?
And so, Sharper set about remaking the town in his own image. The fertilizer factory soon reopened for business. Sales rose steadily as more and more farmers across the countryside began to swear by its miraculous properties. Beacon Pines became famous, a secretive town that, for the right price, shared its gifts with all. Gifts that became more and more necessary in a world where winters grew longer and longer. The end. This is wrong, but things are becoming clearer now.
Yeah, it's true.
You can feel it, right? We can't let Sharper win. He might just be the key to this whole thing. Let's see.
Right. Right.
There was a malice
This is
lurking
where I
behind
got
those
kidnapped.
eyes, like a trap ready to spring. Luca felt the weight of Nuncrete's hand on his shoulder. Something wasn't right. He didn't know why, but something was telling Luca to get out of there.
I just don't want this to all be over. Of course, I'm sure it will all work out soon enough. I should get going. I told Roxy I'd check for Rolo at the treehouse, right?
Luca
Really for
twisted
Rolo.
free of Nuncrete's
See, got
grasp.
captured. Of course. Luca, you know your dad and I were good friends back in the day. You can come to me with anything. Anything at all. Yeah, definitely not doing that. Run, 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 run. The festival decorations are a bit humdrum. Now, if I were to throw a festival, it would be a thing to behold. I agree, this is all more than a little sad. It's worse than sad. It's boring. What if we did a little something to spice things up? I'm listening. You know, the festival sign waiting to be unveiled? It'd be a shame if someone...
The two scurried off, eagerly formulating a plan.
Uh-huh. Looked down and muttered in a gruff voice. Mom always told me my problems would look smaller once I grew up. My problems always seemed to grow right along with me. Heavens, I see it's big trouble ahead. Identify yourself, please. Nellie Modeville. I work here now. I'm unable to locate you on our staff roll. Oh, no, I don't officially start until tomorrow. Mr. Carey said I could come in early tonight and get a few things done. Hold, please. Clearance authorized. Thank you. Our harvest awaits. Uh-huh. Whoa. You could get a wrench to the noggin sneaking up a guy like that. Don't scare a man while he's junking, Sonny. Evening, Jeff. Isn't it kind of late to be junking? Might as well ask the same thing of you. Got anything good? Ever since Bradley Harvest moved in, even the junk is trash. I learn a lot about a person by looking at what they throw away. This bunch is all shredded paper and coffee cups. Well, I better get going. I didn't see nothing if you didn't see nothing. See what? Exactly. Do you think I could bait with malice? No.
Luca wrapped something.
I can't go fishing with malice. That's just ridiculous. What am I doing? I have the treehouse in case Rolo shows up, but I can do that. Rolo?
He aired a long holler into the woods.
Rolo! Sigh. Hello, wherever you are, I hope you're okay.
Luca felt his eyes getting heavy and plopped into the beanbag. He conceded to its lumpy embrace. Once again, Luca found himself in a vast black expanse. This time, he knew exactly where to go. He took a single confident step forward. The world flickered and pulsed. He found himself standing in front of the frigid air of a blazing campfire. The source. He plopped down cross-legged and gazed into the cold flame, waiting. Soon enough, the fire began to die out, popping sporadically, until all that was left was a single ember. Luca stood up and dusted himself off. He plucked the glowing ember from the cold ash, examined it, and slid it into his pocket.
Cool, free ember.
A keepsake. The voice of his father spoke behind him. "You made me proud, Buckaroo." Luca turned to face him. "Dad, what is this place?" A warm grin grew across his father's face. "A place where everything that has been and everything that could be all wait together." Luca found himself staring at his father's face, trying as hard as he could to memorize every single detail. Wait? For what? Another voice spoke out as Luca's doppelganger stepped forward. That's up to you. Without knowing why, Luca began to weep. Is any of this real? Are you real? Luca's father bent down to smudge away a tear. Of course. I'm as real as the part of you that misses me. Luca turned to look at the older version of himself. And you? The doppelganger choked back tears. I'm as real as the part of you that's angry he's gone. Does that make sense? Through his tears, Luca laughed. I think so. His father pulled him in for an embrace. Time to go, buckaroo. Luca was startled from his dream by a banging on the floor.
Are you in there?
A commanding voice rumbled from below. Just as Luca sprang to lock the entry hatch, the door knocked open. Chapter 5. Dangers big and small. Luca stumbled back. He heard the rope ladder creak under significant weight. Keeping his eyes fixed on the hatch, he inched backward to the balcony. As his hand grasped the door handle, Luca froze. A large figure clumsily wriggled up through the hole.
Stop right there. Or I'll... Sheesh, I know it's dark and all, but I figured you'd recognize me. Who are you?
The large figure cocked its head inquisitively.
Stop now or I'll clobber you with a baseball bat. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Take it easy. Luca, you need to get your eyes checked. It's me, Rollo. Nice try, but I know you aren't Rollo. You're like one of his random uncles or something. Where is he? Uncle? Luca, quit messing around. It's me. If it's really you, prove it. Flamin' chicken coop, Luca.
Luca's jaw dropped. He peered more closely at the man standing in front of him. Something about him was undeniably Rollo, only bigger, older, changed.
How? What happened to you? I was running away. I ran into more people in those yellow suits. They grabbed me and dragged me away. What? Where'd they take you? I don't know. Threw a bag over my head. It was cold and smelled like a swimming pool. It was an underground lab or something. They made my hands all big. Look.
Rollo proudly presented his hands to Luca.
Pretty sweet, right? I mean, it wouldn't be my first pick for a superpower. But beggars can't be choosers. Rollo, it wasn't just your hands. My feet, too? Dang, Pa just made me new shoes. Wait, Luca, why are you so small?
Luca moved to the side and pointed Rollo to his reflection in the balcony window.
What the?
His hands shot up to his face.
Holy Toledo! Rollo, what did they do to you? Made me drink some sort of green crud. Ew. Actually, it wasn't too bad. It kind of tasted like licorice. Passed out and woke up like this. And then I sort of smashed open my cage and escaped. Oh, you smashed open a cage? Kinda. At least I think I did. It's all a bit of a blur. They had you in a cage. Who are these people? I don't know who did this to you, but we're gonna fix it. Fix it? This is awesome. Well, I'm just glad you're safe now. Luca, you don't need to worry about me. Sure, I got snatched, but look at this way. I got snatched. I know where snatched people go. You're gonna finally have a lead of what happened to your family. Maybe you're right, but this all seems dangerous. Danger. Ha.
Rollo shadowboxed a few jabs.
I'll take them all on. Hey, fellas, what's up?
With a yelp, Rollo dove behind Luca.
Ah, take cover. Did I come at a bad time? Who the heck are you? This is Beck. Sorry, something too bizarre happened and I need help. I didn't know where else to go. So you're just hanging out here with your large adult friend? No, this is my buddy Rollo. Is this your missing friend? One and the same. He seems a little old. I'll have you know this is a recent development. What the heck does that mean? Well, I'm sorry, you're the one who just showed up out of nowhere. So we'll be asking the questions here. That's fair. How'd you find us? Your silly little treehouse? I think you mean our silly little mission control. Hate to break it to you, but your secret path isn't so secret. And I could hear your racket from a mile away. See, Luca, this is why we need to improve security around here. Not now, Rollo. Becky said something bizarre happened? Yeah, but...
She shot a nervous glance at Rollo.
Anything you can say around me, you can say around Rollo. It's been a weird day all around, hasn't it? Yep.
Beck's eyes narrowed.
Okay, so it all started when I made it back home. First order of business was to try to salvage my hair. So I dyed it with some stuff from my chemistry set my mom gave me. Oh, right. Made her hair older. Okay. Just need to play cool. Hope no one notices. Notices what? Oh, nothing. I was just... Come over here and let me have a look. Oh, honey, what in the world did you do to your hair? It just kind of felt like a change. It's gonna take forever to grow out. You're the one who said the change was a good thing, right? It's talking about your mother's new job. It's talking about us moving. Well, I guess I just took your lesson to heart.
Ilona tried to put on a smile.
Before I forget, I came up here to tell you that Nellie had to go into work. Tonight? Her and Mr. Care decided it would be good for her to get some things done before tomorrow. The Care guy seems like a grade A creep. Beck! He is! Him and his weird cult of personality. You are not gonna ruin this job for Nellie. It means too much to her. Oh, I know exactly how much it means to her. It means enough for her to exile her daughter to this podunk town. This place sucks. People are weird. Printer's going. What did we print? Good stuff? Oh, printed all kinds of stuff. It's always cold. In the mountains, you'll get used to it. Can't even pick up a single decent station on the radio. And it's all banjo music and farm reports. You know, I grew up in a town not that different from this one. Is that why you're better at talking to plants than people? Okay. So here's what we're gonna do. First of all, you're grounded. What? In the morning, I'll have Nellie come and see what we can do about fixing your hair. You look presentable for the festival. But not another peep.
She sighed, and after a moment, looked down at Beck sympathetically.
I know moving is hard, honey. Doesn't mean you have to make yourself miserable all the time. But people seem to have that covered for me. Oh, and if you decide to rebel by dyeing your hair more...
She flashed a sly grin and tousled Beck's hair.
I'll just shave it off for you. I think if I were to rebel, you still look thin. Very funny. Thank you. Good night, sweetie. Good night, Mom. Wait. First of all, this town does not suck. Second, you need help because you got grounded? No. I'm sorry you got in trouble. It's my fault your hair got screwed up in the first place. Don't worry about it, I actually kind of like this look. Great, can we get back to the story now? Next part's the important bit. For this radio I upgraded with my mom and I was too angry to sleep, so I tried to dial in something worth listening to. Mr. Care, are you there? Mr. Care? Yes, I'm busy. What is it? Apologies, I have the founder on the line. Patch him through immediately. One moment. Hello, sir. It's so nice to hear from you. Skip the pleasantries. What's your report to the new lead researcher of deep engineering? Nellie Modewell seems to be integrating nicely. At this very moment, she's working to help us meet our deadline. She offered to work overtime before I even had a chance to suggest it. Excellent. You have faith that she's capable of finishing the work left by her predecessor? Her work must be complete before the festival. We'll make sure she stays day and night until it's accomplished. Good. You know how I feel about loose ends. Yes, sir. Once she has finished the work, we need to make a determination regarding her long-term prospects in the company. Immediately, sir? I usually have more time to fully bring people into the fold. You're in the endgame, Bill. After your failures with Dr. Prescott, I can't afford to take any risks. Of course, sir. No loose ends, sir. Once he finishes the work, She will either leave the office completely committed to perennial harvest, or she won't leave at all. Perfect. Sir, if I might suggest, maybe we should delay, just for a bit. Oh? It's just, we seem to be rushing to hit this festival deadline. Rushing into things has caused some issues in the past. I see. Please understand that I just want what's best for you. I'm eternally grateful for all you've done for me. Bill, I'll make this very clear for you. I brought you in to make things run smoothly, not to have opinions. Of course, sir. Shut up, Bill. You're only a few days away from having everything you ever dreamed of. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Whoa. Yeah. Just to be clear, when they said loose ends, they were talking about murder, right? Like actually killing someone. Capital murder.
Luca gave Rollo a quick elbow to the ribs.
Who is this founder? I was hoping you guys would know. Now, as far as we know, Kara's the top banana at Perennial Harvest. He sounded scared of this founder guy. So we have an even topper banana on the field. What the hell's my mom caught up in? Has she talked about the job much? Not really. She said she was going to come in and continue the work of someone she respected. Luca, do you think that body at the warehouse was the person Beck's mom came to replace? It would make sense. Beck, it seems like Nellie's predecessor got, loose-ended. I'm getting that impression. So we need to get your mom out of there before the festival happens. It's 2 days away. Won't she just come home after work? People on the radio said they were going to hold her there until then. So if she's not coming out, we gotta go in and get her.
Beck flicked a large sheet of paper out of her pocket and slammed it on the floor.
Maybe this'll help. You have blueprints? Well, it's really just a welcome map for my mom's PH orientation day. It shows layout. Sure looks like blueprints to me. Look, here's the reception area. It's a big room marked Founder's Office. It has the exits marked. Guys. We have a deadline. We have an objective. We have blueprints. You realize what this is, right?
Started to wiggle with excitement.
I think we're heisting. It's officially a heist.
Chapter 6. The Heist.
Ooh, heist.
They spent the night's end huddled around that small map, formulating a plan to infiltrate the headquarters of Perennial Harvest. It would be no small feat. A modern facility equipped with all manner of technology, not to mention the swarm of clipboards that would most certainly be scattered throughout. By the time the sun began to peek through the car window used as a makeshift balcony door, all were in agreement.
They were. But I think we'll end it for there with a exciting heist coming up. All right. Exciting times ahead. All right, well, we'll call it there. I get to go do homework. Woo, buddy. I'll see you later. Goodbye.